Well, it's another week, which means it's time for another snub of Until Dawn. Hi, I'm the Hidden Object Guru, and yeah, IGN put together its 100 best PlayStation games of all time. Now, I've already been told that Until Dawn isn't on this list. That's why this video is happening. So we're going to go through entries on this list and see which ones could have been cut to drop Until Dawn on the list. Now, I'm not expecting there to be no cross-platform titles, but I would hope that we're not going to see a ton of games that are also on Xbox on this. Oh, and by the way, IGN has maybe one of the most garbage websites I've ever seen. So I heard there was a list of the 100 best PlayStation games of all time. So I went to the IGN.com front page, and I'm like, okay, I don't see it here. Don't see it here. Nope. So I went down, scrolled for a while, couldn't see any sign of it. So I thought, okay, well, you know what? I can search for things. But the PlayStation, no sign of it. No sign of it. I'm not going to scroll forever. So I thought to myself, I'll search for it. So I thought to myself, okay. 100 best PlayStation games of all time. Nothing. All it does is list games or PlayStation Home. So yeah, there was no way. In order to find this list, I had to go to Google and type in the title of the list, which, get your act together, IGN. All right, so Ape Escape. You know what? I will accept this if Ape Escape 3 is higher on the list. That's the one that had the crossover with Metal Gear Solid 3, which is the best thing the Ape Escape franchise ever did. Also, I want to see Metal Gear Solid 3 on here for the same reason. But if it's not, then this should be Ape Escape 3. Okay, Crash Team Racing. I've never played it. People love it. No complaints. I love Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage. I can't imagine complaining about that. I haven't played Tearaway. Again, hear people like it. No notes there. Deathloop! A game from 3 years ago that came out on Xbox at the same time. Alright, here's one we can cut right away. Without any hesitation, we can cut this bad boy. How far down this list do you think I'm going to have to get before I realize that there's going to be, no VR titles at all? I'm just worried that just like the video history of PlayStation, that Sony just put out, they're just going to pretend VR never happened. Alright, Jak 2. Yeah, that is a really high quality game. I'm not going to complain about that at all. Loco Roco. Oh, it's so charming. Yeah, really good. I haven't played Rift Apart, but again, I've heard good things, and I would like to get to it at some point. Also, I haven't played Lumines. Wow, I am missing out on a lot of PlayStation's history, aren't I? Oh, thank God Siphon Filter's on the list. I was really ticked off when Sony left this off their video. It's a fantastic franchise. It's weird to just not mention, that this was the starting point that eventually ended up at Days Gone, which is why you can get the taser that set zombies on fire in Days Gone. Love that game. Wrath of the White Witch. A really wonderful game that if you haven't played, you absolutely deserve to try it. You're going to be delighted. Pro Evolution Soccer 6. I don't play sports games, so I can't comment. Patapon 3. Oh, nice. Okay, Horizon Zero Dawn. It's a beloved franchise. I'm surprised they didn't put it higher on the list. So, way to go, IGN. Are we going to see any, older games, though? We've had a couple of PSP titles, and we had Spyro and Crash Team Racing, but I'd and of course Siphon Filter, but I want, see, Doom Eternal came out on everything. It came out on Switch. Oh my god, it listed being on Stadia. A thing that no longer exists. Oh, SSX Tricky! I did love that game, but again, you can't call that. So I'm taking Doom and SSX Tricky off of this list. They're all multi-platform. It was on GameCube. Come on, guys. How is this a definitive PlayStation title? I'd like to see some time shifters if we want to talk about key moments in PS2 history. Do you think The Getaway is going to be on this list? It belongs on it. Tetris Effect is delightful. I assumed it wasn't just PC and PlayStation 4, but apparently it is. Kingdom Hearts 2, also fantastic game. I get it. Monster Hunter World, boom, we can just pop that one off. I love the Monster Hunter games, but they haven't been PlayStation exclusive for a long time. Now, if you wanted to put just Monster Hunter here, well, you shouldn't. It's a terrible game. Don't get me wrong, I love what Monster Hunter became, but if you've ever tried to play the original PS2 Monster Hunter, you're in for a bad time. Oh, wow. Medal of Honor Frontline. I did like the original 1991 one. I never played Frontline, but yeah, I see this as being I see this as being weird because they specifically call out the fact that, like, the first one, which was a PlayStation exclusive, is historically important and a PlayStation classic, but we're putting the one that was on every system on here. No, thank you. Hotline Miami? It's hard to think of many games that are more perfectly suited to the PlayStation Vita than Hotline Miami. I can think of a few. Yeah. Spoiler alert. Hotline Miami doesn't play well if you're not using a mouse and keyboard. There. Like all mouse-look shooters, doesn't work well on a joypad. Again, popping that one, that shouldn't be on the list. Killzone 2. Damn fine game. No complaints. I really did enjoy Killzone. I think the franchise never had the best story, and that last one was terrible, which is why it died, but surprised to not see Final Fantasy VII Rebirth higher on the list, but maybe they'll put Final Fantasy VII higher on the list. Ridge Racer Type 4, you say. Never played it. I've heard good things about the Ridge Racer franchise. And I know it is basically Sony exclusive, so I totally get it. But yeah, I've just never played a Ridge Racer game. Oh, I loved Returnal. That's weird, because it's a game that I started playing, and I thought I was going to hate it. And it really did hook me, and the longer I played, the better it got. Really locked in my feelings that all third-person shooters need lock-on aiming, but that's a different conversation. Oh my god, Driver, yes! Now that's just beautiful nostalgia. Really fun experience. Yeah, was it like the best driving? No, the car chases were iconic. Yeah, Little Big Planet, very solid platforming, get putting it on the list. Yakuza 0. Oh, yeah, that is a masterpiece, which is apparently available on Luna. So you can play this on your television right now. Yeah, it is. Yakuza 0 truly is a delight. It says it was available on PS3. I didn't know that it was. Came out in 2015. Was it actually available on PlayStation 3? Need for Speed. Again, cross-platform. Easy enough to dip that out. Helldivers 2. I mean, it's fine. I'm an EDF person, so I'm never going to be like, oh, we got to play more Helldivers. Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Yeah. Really delightful game. I preferred Legacy of Kain. There's no nice way to say this. I thought the map design in Soul Reaver was garbage, and it was way too easy to get lost. So there you go. Prince of Persia Sands of Time. Giant multi-platform release. Not by any definition a PlayStation game. Now, Bully. That's tough, because it started out as something I really do associate with PlayStation, but it's everywhere as well. I think I can leave it on the list. I did first play it on the PlayStation. It does really feel like a PlayStation, experience to me. Katamari Damacy. Back when there was such a thing as a budget title, when you would go into a store and there would be a giant game from a major publisher, and it'd just be like $25. That's how I got into Earth Defense Force. And that's how I got into Katamari Damacy. It was just a cheap game, and I'm like, well, it's got a weird cover, it's only $25, let's take a shot. A thing that no longer exists. Devil May Cry is a delightful franchise, and yes, very much a PlayStation 2 experience. But hey, it's also available on Nintendo Switch? Yeah, it's also available in, various compilations, isn't it? See, this is weird to me. Phantom Pain. Definitive multi-platform. It does not belong on this list, guys. Rocket League. Again, that's like, again, so much multi-platform stuff on this list. Destiny! First off, not a fantastic game, but also not belonging on the list. Destiny 2 is amazing. I'm not going to deny the amazingness of Destiny 2. Of course, Parappa was always going to show up. People love that pupper. Hitman. So much multi-platform. You know, I'm beginning to think we're not going to get Shadow of Memories on this list, and that makes me very sad. Black Flag. Was it like the first game I got on the PS4? Yeah. Still doesn't belong on the list. I could have gotten on the Xbox One. But no, I got Dead Rising 3, and I regret nothing. That game's amazing. Best Dead Rising game. Oh, Sons of Liberty. That's right. Now, young people won't know this, but we literally all rented or bought Zone of the Enders just to play the demo, which was the tanker chapter, or half of the tanker chapter. Not boat chapter? No, tanker chapter, because there's tanker chapter and then there's Big Shell. Yeah, alright. The point is, the boat part of the game. We got a game just to play half of the boat part of the game. That's how good it was. And literally, this might be cruel, because Zone of the Enders is a good game, but there's more to do in the Metal Gear Solid 2 demo, in that playground, than there is in the entire game Zone of the Enders. Well, Journey is a classic that belongs on any list. Oh, I miss you, Journey. Crash Bandicoot. Yeah, again, that was a delight. We all loved Crash Bandicoot. Ghost of Tsushima, I loved a lot. We can have a discussion later about whether it's, you know, right-wing propaganda, but as a game, oh my god, delightful. Final Fantasy IX, maybe the best PS1 Final Fantasy game. I know 7 has its defenders, but nobody puts 8 over the two of them. Batman Arkham City. Definitive, like, I played it on the Xbox, guys. Get it straight. With, this is a fun fact, a Batman controller I bought. Some third-party company released a Batman controller to coincide with the release of the game. I bought a Batman controller because my controller had recently broken. Vagrant Story. Oh, yeah, fantastic game. Can you get this? Like, is there any way to buy it now? God, I hope so. Spider-Man 2 is a delight, and again, absolutely can only play it on Sony. Walking Dead, the definition, once again, of a multi-platform release. Also, you know, let's pause for a second. I mean, we don't really have to pause. I'm the one in control of this. What are you doing having The Walking Dead on this list when you don't have Until Dawn? Well, it's based on a popular TV show. Okay? Okay, well, I haven't been reading these comments for the most part, but it pre-invigorated the adventure genre in 2012. I know that's just a typo, but you meant reinvigorated. And again, 3 years later, Until Dawn came along, completely turning the interactive movie genre on its head. So, no, Walking Dead, you can cut from this list immediately. And just drop Until Dawn exactly where this is, and I don't think anyone would have an issue. I am going to be so ticked off if, like, Heavy Rain is on this list. Grand Theft Auto 3, yeah, masterpiece. Love it, love it, love it. Really does belong on the list. It was so huge for PlayStation 2. Final Fantasy Tactics. Okay. I mean, I still think of that as, like, a Super Nintendo series, but, you know, I'm really thinking of Ogre Battle. Demon Souls, a delight. Did I ever finish it? No. Is it because I'm bad at the game? Hell yes. God of War 2. Yeah, another classic. Absolutely belongs on the list. I never did play Chrono Cross. I really should. I loved Chrono Trigger, and so I was worried that the follow-up couldn't live up to it, so I just never turned it on. Peace Walker. Now that's an amazing game. I don't know if I'd put it over 5. But again, it's multi-platform, so I don't want to give it to them. But it's a weird thing where it's multi-platform, but I think I can give it to them because it was multi-platform much later. It was designed just for PlayStation Portable. So yeah, we can leave that on the list. Guitar Hero, who cares which one it is? It's very much a multi-platform experience. You know, Wipeout, again, I don't really play racing games, but it is a lot of fun. Aw, Time Splitters 2, if only you'd have the one that wasn't, you know, super multi-platform, guys. Titanfall 2, I mean, it's a masterpiece, don't get me wrong, but it's on everything. I literally, from here, can see my Titanfall robot. I got the Titanfall robot kit, you know, it was like $150, $200, whatever, when Titanfall came out, because I love that demo so much, and I love the look of the robot, and I sold a script, so I'm like, screw it. I'm getting the robot. Don't regret it. Vice City, also delightful. So I guess San Andreas is going to be in the 20s, probably? Astrobot is amazing. Is it weird that I would put Robot Rescue over it? Solely because, like... How do I say this? It's in VR! And everything's better in VR, but I guess we're pretending VR doesn't exist on this list, because I haven't seen Rush of Blood yet. Or, you know... I'm trying to think, what's an incredibly central... Well, you know, Call of the Mountain is better than Horizon Zero Dawn, so there you go. Aww, Tomb Raider featuring Lara Croft. Nice. Uncharted 4. Is that the best Uncharted game, or are we going to see one higher on the list? Because Golden Abyss, I feel like, might be better. Nier Automata, very much a multi-platform kind of title. Not putting that on the list. It's available on everything, and it wasn't exclusive for long, if it was ever exclusive at all. Burnout 3 Takedown is one of the best driving games ever made, but I played it on the Xbox. Dishonored 2, again, masterpiece, played it on the Xbox. Okami, oh, I love you, Okami, but, you know, didn't you start out as like, am I remembering this wrong? Did you start out as like a GameCube series? I'm actually really weirded out about this. Plus 3 more. Can I click and find out what they are? I can't. Because again, IGN has a garbage site. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Yep, it was on the Nintendo 64, so no, don't belong on the list. Final Fantasy X. You know what? I mean, people like it. I don't know why it's higher than 9 or Rebirth, but it is good. Suikoden 2 is a fantastic experience. If you get a chance to, you really should play it. Resident Evil the original. Honestly, kind of weird that they're using the GameCube remake images. So, they use the GameCube remake images, but they're not referencing the fact that it's available on PlayStation 3, even though you can get the GameCube remake on PlayStation 3. That's strange. But yeah, Resident Evil, it is iconic. It is an integral part of the PlayStation brand, so I get it. Mass Effect. What are you talking about, Mass Effect 2? Tekken 3. Yeah, I like Tekken games. I think of them as an arcade franchise, not a home franchise, but I totally understand why you put that this high. God of War Ragnarok, so that's more than one God of War on this game. Persona 5 Royale. Very much a multi-platform experience. Come on, guys. Get serious. Alright, so here's how I know for a fact that there aren't going to be any acknowledgements of VR on this series. And don't tell me, well, PSVR is a different thing. We're just talking about PlayStation here. There's Vita games on here. You could put PSVR if you cared about it. They don't, and this is proving it because, like, objectively speaking, the best PlayStation game ever, number 1, is Resident Evil 4 Remake VR. Like, it just... There's no conversation. It just is. But anyway, this game is unbelievably good. Like, it really is. It's so incredible. And I could never cut it for being on everything because it's on PSVR and it's incredible. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. Yep, I understand why this is so high. Really was an amazing game. And some people call it the last great PS2 game. Totally understand that. Portal 2? I didn't even know you could get that on PlayStation. Like, Portal is a franchise that I think of as being... Okay, so it's number 1, PC. Number 2, obviously, Xbox. Because of the green box. But, sorry, the green box? Oh my god, the orange box. What are you talking about? Is this a joke? Call of Duty 4? Ugh. Silent Hill 2, the original. Now that is fantastic. Unfortunately, I played it on Xbox first. So, you know. Dark Souls. You already had Demon Souls on and this is multi-platform. Come on, guys. Gran Turismo A-Spec. not a Gran Turismo person, but some people like it. Persona 4, also one of their big multi-platform titles. Maybe we'll get a really old Persona in here at some point. Witcher 3 Wild Hunt? I don't think so. Come on, be serious. Snake Eater, yes! This is what I'm talking about. It's got the crossover with Ape Escape. But, tragically, I think Ape Escape 3 is not going to be on this list now that we're already this high. Symphony of the Night, complete masterpiece. And it was exclusive at the time to PlayStation. It belongs this high on the list. Elden Ring. Again, just anybody can play Elden Ring however they want, wherever they want. Last of Us Part 2, see? I get that. Wait. They're putting Resident Evil 2, the remake, higher than Resident Evil 4, the remake. Are you drunk? And I can't stress this enough, and I don't want to be a jerk about this. Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation is better than Resident Evil 2 Remake on the PlayStation 4. I know the graphics are better and the controls are infinitely better, like, I get all of that, but the zapping system and having two different gameplays that changed based on who went first, and your two stories interacted with each other in interesting ways, that was more innovative than anything they did in the remake. The remake is a less innovative game than a game from 20 years earlier. So that should just, Oh, by the way, Resident Evil 2 2018. Our vote emphatically goes to the 2019 remake. Get your act together, IGN. Is this a joke? Who's playing Baldur's Gate 3 on a PlayStation instead of PC? You drunk? 5 and online, definitively multiplayer experience. I kind of figured Uncharted 2 would be higher on the list. Like I said, I still think it should be Golden Abyss, but I get making it Among Thieves. Red Dead Redemption 2, again, definitively multiplayer experience. Multi-platform experience. Be serious. Stadium. There we go. Final Fantasy VII. You know what? Yeah, I played that more hours than I care to admit. I understand putting it this high. So, whoa. You got Last of Us's just like 5 apart? 6 apart? Okay, 7 apart. I was bad at counting. This is madness. You don't have to put both Last of Us's on here. Okay, if the top 4 games were just... They could win me back if the top 4 games was Shadow of the Colossus, Last Guardian, Ico, and then, of course, Until Dawn. I already know that doesn't happen, but I am happy to see Shadow of the Colossus on here. Sad we didn't see Ico. Bloodborne, naturally. People love Bloodborne. God of War. Yeah, why not? This list is disgusting me already. And, of course, Metal Gear Solid, because it is integral to the PlayStation brand. And famously, the controls only had vibration because Kojima wanted it for Metal Gear Solid, or he wanted to use it to tell stories. And, fun fact, the buttons on the face of the controller have those symbols because of what they do in Metal Gear Solid. The 0, the O on the right is yes, the X on the bottom is no. The triangle on the top is first-person view because it represents a cone of vision, and the square is a box because it represents looking at your inventory. So that is how integral Metal Gear Solid is to the development of the PlayStation as a brand. So of course it was always going to be number 1. But to look at this seriously, there are 37 multi-platform games that could have been cut from this list to drop Until Dawn onto this list. And it's sickening that they didn't do that. So, where should Until Dawn be on the list? 28. Do I know what that means? No, but I think it should have been 28. Let's go find out what 28 is, just so I look like an idiot when it turns out it's a game I love. Mass Effect, actually I picked the perfect title. Mass Effect 2, it's not even a great game. And it's multi-platform. Alright, so, IGN's terrible at lists, and they should not keep... People need to stop snubbing Until Dawn. I mean, an unbelievably important part of Sony PlayStation history. I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more, there's buttons coming up to help with that. Questions, comments, and suggestions for other things for me to look at, go in the comment section below the video. Play my game, Clown in the Woods, for free on itch.io. It's not as disappointing as Mass Effect 3. I will see you back here for more vids, but until then, I'll say that's right. Au revoir.